I'm serious. Highlight of my week right here.
Be some hobbies.
There you go. Touche.
Dirk, your thoughts about, we'll look a little bit at the last game before we look ahead, but you did some nice things in the passing game. Clearly the blocking held up pretty well in pass protection against that defensive line, but was it just some drop passes, not going on third down, just the things that stand out?
Well, we didn't throw and catch on third down. Protection was outstanding. Houston's game plan was to take us out of our run game and see if they could get there with their pass rush. I'm talking first and second down. We did a really nice job on first and second down. We hit our passes, we hit a bunch of explosives, we protected. We got to third down, we still protected good. We just didn't throw and catch. We either threw it on target and dropped it, or we had the guy wide open and missed it. And you know, we were 1 for 12 on third down. If you really look at all those third downs back to back to back, if we just do what we're supposed to, we could be 9 for 12 on third down. You know, we got a couple calls there where you know, that was a third down on the sluggo route to Vince. That was a bang play. I mean, stuff like that's going to happen once in a while, but just, you know, unacceptable. We got to pitch and catch. NFL teams got to make those plays.
What was your evaluation of Mike Evans? Obviously, he had more drops than anybody, it seemed.
Yeah, Mike didn't have his best. He'd be the first guy to tell you that. He missed a lot of time. You know, he missed a lot of time. He missed a lot of time the last few weeks. That's what happens when you got a guy that you know, Mike's still a young player. He's still in his second year. He missed a lot of time. You want to get him back in there. He's one of your marquee players. They were challenging us to throw jump balls to him. Jameis threw a lot of really good balls in jump ball, and again, I'm not telling you anything that Mike wouldn't tell you himself. Mike's paid to make those catches.
What's your experience with young receivers like him? It's only his second year in the league. He had missed some time before that. Is rust a reality in some
Well,
cases?
I don't know what you pick your own word. You know, pick whatever word you want, but we have to make those plays. All right, we have to make those plays. You got to be able to throw and catch. That's, again, you want to be a big time receiver. You want to be a big time quarterback. The protection's there, the route's there. We got to make the plays. Now, there's times that the route won't be there, and then that's my fault. I got to give them better, and that's fine. I mean, we're not pinning it on anybody, but you know, it is what it is. We got to do better.
How consistent has OLine been? Has he been one of your more consistent players?
Ali had a good game. He didn't have the highest grade on the OLine, but he was up there. And you know, other than maybe one game in preseason, Ali's been pretty consistent, and he's gone against some good players, both in the preseason and here. He's off to a good start. He's off to a good start.
Dirk, I've seen various figures about drop passes the last game. I don't know if you specifically chart them, and if you did, how many did you have?
Too many. That's how many I have. So yeah, that chart and drop passes is it's an inexact science for sure. But I mean, how many is too many? Probably one is too many. It depends on how tough the catch is. I always just try to judge, you know, should the guy have made that catch? You know, there was James Joseph, 24 for them. I thought he did a nice job 3 different times in the game where the ball was on the money. We had our hands on the ball, and he poked it out. And that's a veteran corner. That's a good player. That's hard to say, is that a drop or not? But there was some flat-out drops. I mean, you're going to have some over the course of the year. I'm not one of those guys that's sitting there beating the drum over catch the damn ball. I mean, that's just not. Oh, you think those guys don't know that? I mean, that's the most obvious coaching thing in America. I don't ever really talk to them. It's a fact, all right? It's a fact. You guys know it. I know it. So all we're doing is stating the fact. We're not going to beat them up. We're not going to say quit doing it. I mean, it's just we got to catch the ball.
Dirk Koetter was saying Monday that he's been pleased with Doug Martin so far and what you guys have asked him to do. Yep. Where is the running game right now? I know if you look back since 2011, the only 2 wins against Carolina, he touched the ball 28 times in those victories. Does he got to be involved heavily in your workload?
Well, that's definitely the game plan to have him involved. But I mean, the definition of insanity is keep doing something that doesn't work. And I mean, Houston's game plan on first and second down, 3-14, they were bringing their backs. There was one series where they went total blitz, 0. So they went both on first down and second down back to back. You hardly ever see that in the NFL. I mean, at some point, I mean, the easiest thing on a rookie quarterback is turn around and hand it to Doug Martin. But if we're making 1 or 2 yards, or in some cases minus 2 yards, we got those two wideouts out there. They're playing single high coverage and they're challenging us to throw it. We got to throw the ball there, and that has nothing to do with Doug ran hard. Doug ran hard, had some nice runs. You know, we only ran it 20 times or something like that. We'd like to run it more, but it just wasn't that kind of a game. And so when I look at, you know, like the game before against New Orleans, I think I look at rundowns as first and 10, second and 1 to 6. I think we ran it 18 out of 21 times, something like that. This game, it was a lot more balanced. I don't remember the exact. It's more balanced than you would think, but we were way more successful. I just look at the efficiency. Okay, what was our run efficiency? What was our pass efficiency? And in both, what was our explosive efficiency? It wasn't even close. Our pass efficiency was through the roof, and I think of our 7 completions on rundowns, I think 6 of them were explosive. I mean, explosive is how you win games. So we want to work Doug. Doug is a workhorse. It just wasn't meant to be in that game.
Where do you see him in the passing game?
Down the pecking order.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to throw Doug 20 passes when you got the other guys we had.
Dirk, can you talk about the penalties? The 3 straight weeks now you've had double-digit penalties as a team. Certainly the offense had their share on Sunday as well.
Too many. All right, too many to be sure, but we played in 2 domes, and if you really look at the offensive penalties, we had 3 penalties in the first drive, okay? After that, we had 1 penalty the rest of the game. It was legit. They called Joe for a hold on the screen. Of those first 3, 2 of them were crowd noise related. All right, Jameis lost track of the clock. We were trying to check in a noisy stadium, and we got a delay. Logan had a false start on the very first play of the game, and then there was the offensive OPI they called on Mike. Take a look at that one on tape, and then you be the judge.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dirk, you mentioned didn't throw and catch well enough. We talked about
On
the
3rd down.
Yeah.
On 3rd down.
Talk about the throw part. What was Jameis not doing well? Is it his footwork that he's still struggling with there?
First of all, let's talk about the positives. Jameis did a great job of getting the ball out on time in this game. A great job. Okay, we had 0 sacks against one of the best rush teams in the NFL with 2 elite pass rushers. Very few teams have that. And what's strange about the game is on 1st and 2nd down, Jameis was as accurate as could be. I mean, he threw some beautiful balls. Unfortunately, on 3rd down, he wasn't as accurate as he needs to be. 2 of them that just come to my mind right off the bat, he didn't set his feet good enough. He got his base a little bit too wide. Get your base wide, the ball tends to sail on you. So we had 2 of those. But Jameis threw some great balls. I mean, in that game, that just shows what he can do. We got to remember it's his 3rd game. You know, I think plenty of people out there were wondering if the team did shut down our running game and force us to throw, could we do it? It wasn't good enough, but we made progress.
Keeply is in an uncertain health situation right now. Does that affect preparations at all for you guys?
Yeah, I think he'll be good to go. I mean, it sounds like he'll be good to go. I mean, he's one of the top players in the NFL. Plays just like he's the Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers of defense. I mean, you watch when he's in there, the offense checks, he's checking the defense, he's sliding the front. Guy's an impressive player. They've been a lot more vanilla the last 2.5 games with him out. I'm sure as soon as he gets back, they'll crank it up again and do more things than they've been doing.
Dirk, how pleased have you been with the progress you've seen from the guys up front?
Yeah, they did a nice job. Those guys are playing hard. You know, what we told them is, all right, we lost a game from our standpoint. I'm sure Houston feels like they deserve to win. We felt like that was a winnable game from our standpoint. But the standard of how hard our guys are playing has been set. Our guys are playing hard, and that always starts with the O-line. Those guys are playing tough. You know, you guys have been asking me since the first day I got up here about do we have ways we can help the pass protection? Well, I mean, they did a nice job in that game. Now that's 3 of 16. We got to keep going.
Coach, last week when I asked you about Austin Safari and Jenkins being out and Brandon Myers and the other guys filling in, you said they're 2 different guys, 2 different skill sets. How were the tight ends, and how did it change the game plan by not having him in this game?
Well, the tight ends were fine, but how it changed the game plan is they just weren't targeted as much. I mean, now we didn't go into the game thinking we were going to target Mike 17 times. It worked out that way, And one thing about that, we gotta balance that up between Mike and Vince. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Mike Evans having 17 targets, but, if Mike has 17, Vince should probably have 16.34. Okay, but, what just changes, we just didn't target them as much, but they played fine.
Doug, would you expect that to be the approach? I mean, and I guess it depends on the team. They're gonna stop the easiest thing you can do, as you said, with a rookie quarterback, which is the run. Or did Jameis show enough on film now where they're gonna be a little, hey, I don't know.
You should be asking their D coordinator.
Yeah,
that,
I mean, but when you game plan, I mean, you just gotta be able to react to whatever they're doing.
Well, think of it this way. Some teams are all single high oriented, right?
Yeah.
Some teams are gonna mix more two high safeties in there.
Sure.
That's just
Team to
different
team.
D coordinators. I mean,
Yeah.
some D coordinators, they're gonna load the box on you every play and say, I don't care who your quarterback is, you can't run it. Other coordinators are gonna mix it up. They're gonna try to disguise more. So that's how your game plan is set based on what you expect. Now, you don't
Yeah.
always get what you expect, but what you expect from coordinators. I think for the most part, we'll see people challenge Jameis all year, and, we know that. There's ways, you gotta be able to run it against a stack box too.
What sort of challenge does Carolina provide this weekend?
Now, they're a top-notch defense. I mean, they look at the stats where they're ranked, very well coached. Those two linebackers are at the top of the league. 24's made 2 game-winning plays for him. The Jacksonville game, a pick 6. That was a beautiful play he made against New Orleans last week. That was a nice throw. I mean, what a play he made. They have depth on the defensive line. Losing Johnson, they lose a good rusher, then they trade for another good rusher. But all those guys in their front, they can push the pocket. They have good depth. Linebackers, they have depth. Now that they've had to play Klein more, they got their first-round pick. They traded for another corner, to go opposite 24, 31. Comes over from Chicago. He's had an excellent career. So this is a real solid defense, and we'll have our hands full for sure.
Much has been said about Jameis's football IQ. He's just off the charts. But how close is he to getting into those points where he does in-game adjustments in terms of knowing the receiver and tendencies that they have, where he can adjust on the fly?
Jameis is good at that. I think it's still real early because we haven't. I mean, in a perfect world, you got Mike, Vince, and Austin out there all the time. We really haven't had that. I mean, that comes from playing with the same guys. That also comes with playing in the same system for several years. I mean, look what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now. I mean, he's the best example, but Aaron Rodgers sat on the bench for 4 years. Okay, so you guys are wanting Jameis to do it in week 4 of his rookie year.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.